Welcome Comes Naturally. We are live from John to Comics. We are
Joe.
I'm Cody. Joining us today is
Ken.
And
Matt.
All right. So, business like usual. Go to Facebook, like and share the Facebook page. Go to iTunes, subscribe, and rate the podcast, and subscribe it. That's it. Boom. There you go. Oh, and Twitter. Our Twitter
That comes natural pod.
Boom. There we are. All right. Then, so part of our special guest for Ken is we're going to do Mike's Wrestling Minute featuring Ken. So, Ken, give us your Mike's Wrestling Minute.
Well, I don't know if Mike usually does recaps of what happened during the week, or how's Mike usually do his throwdown with wrestling?
Just something around some news or something around wrestling. That's all it really is.
WWE, they're on the road to Survivor Series. I'm sure it's everyone's Thanksgiving favorite wrestling moment of the year, where you have teams of wrestlers that you never see mixed together get together and grapple in the ring for bragging rights this year because Raw and SmackDown are split brands. Has Mike touched on that recently?
Nope.
Okay, well, Raw and SmackDown had a draft earlier this year because their brand extensions were returned. It used to be more or less where the story was continued on Raw, from Raw to SmackDown, and you get the same storyline going along. They decided, since they had so much new talent that was signed recently from NXT or Ring of Honor, which is more or less pulling a lot of wrestlers into NXT right now, and then also TNA, with all of their chaos that's been going on over there, has brought a lot of new wrestlers over to NXT too, or straight up to the main roster. For instance, like AJ Styles was brought straight over from New Japan Pro Wrestling via TNA. Contract up, WWE finally got smart and said, let's sign AJ Styles, and AJ Styles is now your new SmackDown brand WWE champion. That's another thing they did with brand extensions too, is that each show has their own titles. Like right now over on Raw, Kevin Owens, another guy that came through the Ring of Honor and more or less indie circuit, is your other champion. So WWE spending a lot of time building up these indie guys into legitimate franchise players for them. But Survivor Series, to get back to the point, Survivor Series is, I'm sure you guys all know, there's usually teams of 5 on each team wrestling against another group of 5. Well, this year, since once again the draft brand extension, you're going to have a team of 5 Raw wrestlers versus a team of 5 SmackDown wrestlers. You can also see the 5 tag teams, which is kind of cool. I don't know if I've ever seen that before, but there's going to be 5, so 10 on 10, more or less, Survivor Series tournament. And even more exciting, I don't know if you guys have heard, but I don't know who was the guy that ran like 173 and over in WCW. Goldberg! Well, WWE dug up his bones because of the new video game.
Yeah.
And got him off those stupid TV shows where he was 150 pounds. Now he's got, I guess, yoking back up to 230, 240, 250, whatever giant size he's going to be to take on Brock Lesnar. Paul Heyman is doing his best to try to promote this into a solid match. I'm pretty impressed about how fans are excited about this, because when they wrestled at WrestleMania before Brock Lesnar decided to try to be a defensive lineman for the Minnesota Vikings, which went absolutely nowhere except a UFC for him, and Goldberg wrestled his, I guess, final match at that point too. So Goldberg hasn't been in a ring in over WWE ring since like 10 years ago. I guess he did some Japan stuff for a while after he left WWE, and then he started doing his more or less let's build a cool car shows on.
Wow, I didn't know he did any of that
on
stuff.
cable. Yeah, and so but Survivor Series is going to be Brock Lesnar Goldberg Part 2, and is Brock Lesnar going to get over on Goldberg this time? Because first time around Goldberg beat Brock Lesnar, and it's going to be an interesting type of thing on it. There's going to be a Divas match where it's going to be SmackDown Divas versus Raw Divas. AJ Styles is part of the Survivor team, so it's going to be interesting. There's not going to be any title matches at Survivor Series, which is something that's usually pretty guaranteed during pay-per-views. You have some kind of title match, so it's just all more as the bragging rights type of pay-per-view.
Wow.
So for Survivor Series this year, that's coming up in a couple weeks.
So who are the team captains this year?
The team captains, it kind of cracks me up. On Raw, Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho are co-captains because they're the Canadian bromance guys right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen that lately, but Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens are co-WWE Raw champions. It's kind of their besties, which kind of cracks me up. And then over on SmackDown, if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure it's AJ Styles is the captain over there too as well.
Makes sense.
And it's pretty much having the champions captain their teams. And on the the Raw team, it's Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens and Braun Strowman that lost when they redid the draft. I guess he used to be part of the Wyatt family.
Right.
And he is, I guess, Vince McMahon's big muscle guy, that Ryback on steroids type of thing, where he's like twice the size of Ryback, and let's wrestle 3 or 4 guys at a time and I'll beat them all. Give me some competition type of guy. But he's on the team, and then over on SmackDown, it's AJ Styles, Dean Ambrose. Let me see here. I'm drawing blanks on SmackDowns right now. Let's see. AJ Styles, Dean Ambrose. Do you remember who else is on the SmackDown one, Matt, at all?
I don't.
I'm dropping the ball here, guys. I apologize
fine.
about this, but it's AJ Styles, Dean Ambrose. Let me see here. Do you guys have any internet access for
I'm
me?
just wondering, how do you do a 5-team tag team? There's only 4 corners, 4 sides of the ring. Like one team is just going to be in the middle of the ring.
You have 10 guys on one corner, 10 guys on another corner, and
So is it tag team or is it?
so I guess if your guy gets eliminated, your team gets eliminated too
Oh,
as well.
so if one gets pinned, it's over.
Yeah, your team's out on that.
Well, that's madness.
Right?
Yeah, it's pretty insane. But it should be fun. A lot of people are mostly excited about the Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg match going on that.
Hopefully they put on a entertaining match that lasts more than 2 minutes.
Oh man, I hope so. I hope Goldberg just doesn't die in the middle of the ring like
exactly.
Mickey Rourke style, the wrestler.
They're both
That's
big
gonna be-
guys. I mean, hopefully they don't gas out too early and put on a good show.
He's doing it for, I guess his son's never seen him wrestle. And so that's something they talked about a little bit kayfabe during his coming out to the ring. He was like, oh, my son gets to never see me wrestle, I realized. So I got one more in me. And so,
All right.
yeah, it's a wrestling minute gone 10. I can understand that. WWE's doing some fun things right now, and it's definitely worth checking out the network. Oh, the cruiserweights. Have you seen the cruiserweights yet?
I've kept a very short eye on it. I haven't watched too much of it.
The cruiserweight brand is some of the most entertaining wrestling going right now. They brought back the Brian Kendrick. Remember Brian Kendrick? He used to be with Paul London as tag team champion for a short period of time in the early 2000s, and they tried pushing him on his own as the next Shawn Michaels, but that failed miserably. But he's a very, very entertaining, good wrestler, and he's now the cruiserweight champion. And they brought in another guy that CJ Perkins, I think it's CJ Perkins actually. He was the original cruiserweight champion they brought up there after this tournament they did on the WWE network. And he's going to be back to being champion again, but Brian Kendrick is the veteran of that division, so they're giving him a small title run, you could tell. And it's pretty good stuff. The wrestling is absolutely amazing. I think it's, if you like stuff like Kofi Kingston and Adrian Neville and stuff like that, that's complete division of wrestling with people that have luchador type of skills. And it's very, very fast paced, cool wrestling rather than storytelling inside of the ring. It's more or less, let's just impress the crowd with some stupid crap we can do.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good stuff though. But that's about what I got this week, you guys, dude. It's pretty awesome. WWE, if you guys still love it, keep on watching it. It's a transition stage, but it's worth the wait.
Yeah, it sounds like they have a lot of stuff going for them.
It's pretty cool right now.
Nice.
Cool. Thank you, Ken, for supplying Mike's wrestling minute for this week.
No problem.
All right, so let's go into some news talk.
What you got?
So, pulled up a couple things here. Real quick, officially announced the title for the Pacific Rim sequel,
Yes, I'm looking for it.
What?
What is it?
Maelstrom.
Maelstrom.
Maelstrom. So it's Pacific Rim Maelstrom is the title. So we'll see that. Other big news, 2 big things coming from the new Spider-Man movie. It's been confirmed Michael Keaton is playing Vulture in
Nice.
Homecoming.
Michael Keaton's playing Vulture.
Yep.
Yeah.
Birdman's back.
Yep, as an actual
That's
Birdman.
an actual Birdman.
Yep. And the other big news is Tom Holland's contract has been revealed. It is a 6-film deal.
Wow.
So that'll most likely be 3 Spider-Man movies and 3 cameo appearances in 3 different... Well, we already has 1, so we know
Who's
2.
Tom Holland played?
Tom Holland Spider-Man. He's the Spider-Man from Civil War.
Okay.
He will
Yeah,
be
it's
the
like
new
fourth
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man in the past 10 years.
Yep. So he'll be the new Spider-Man, obviously in Homecoming, opposite Michael Keaton's Vulture.
Yeah.
But it has been confirmed that his contract is 6 films, 3 Spider-Man films, and then 3 cameos. How big the cameos are, obviously it was fairly large, pretty large for what we thought in Civil War. It could be bigger in the other movies, so we'll have to see where they go from there.
I would hope it'd be bigger, especially when you get into the final battle against Thanos.
Yeah, because
every character is supposed to come together.
Yeah, because we're coming into Infinity War, so
yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
So everybody's cards are on the table, as they say. Mm-hmm. So that'll be exciting.
So do you guys like Tom Holland as Spider-Man in Civil War?
I loved his Spider-Man. Yeah. They did such a good job with it because it's funny because you get such a quick glimpse of it, but they even give you a wee bit of like his background in it.
Yeah.
So like you don't get to see the spider bite or the death of Uncle Ben yet, but you get to see him in an OG costume outside, and then obviously he gets the Tony Stark-ized one who everyone was terrified was going to be the Iron Spider, but it was not. Well, we don't know. He does have a backpack, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, so I mean that's a nice little. We'll see. Obviously, get to see more of that in Homecoming, even though it's Homecoming, so it's like he's somewhere, but we'll see what it is. So it'll be interesting. But it's interesting to see Vulture as the main villain in the first movie.
Yeah, because this will be the first movie that we've ever
seen Vulture in. Yeah, right. Like in the previous ones with Andrew Garfield, you saw Vulture's wings in the second movie when they were setting up the Sinister Six at in the basement of Oscorp.
Are they staying in canon with Andrew Garfield?
No, movies? So this is a different one. So it's a completely different run. Yeah. So this is its own Spider-Man. This is because this one's more Marvel based because Marvel, like Kevin Feige and them are producing it along with Sony. So he's tied completely into the Marvel universe, but nothing to the previous Spider-Mans that have come before. So he's its own thing. So it'll be interesting to see how they do that too. Mm-hmm. Pretty fun.
Should be epic.
Yep.
So you said two words that intrigued me. Uncle Ben. Do we really need to see another Spider-Man origin story?
See, that's the big debate with everybody. It's now like Ken said with their third Spider-Man in the last 10 years.
Right.
It'll also be the third, if they do the Uncle Ben, it'll be the third version we see on the silver screen, amongst all the other versions we've seen in cartoons and stuff. I don't think we need to see it more than we need flashbacks of it.
Yeah.
Just because, you need the biggest thing is you need to tie that the saying somewhere. It's like someone needs to be able to use it. It needs to be Uncle Ben, if you ask me, because that's the origin of it. That's why he does what he does, because of the morals and stuff that Ben has given him and had him grow up with. So I think you need that a little bit just so you can have Ben saying be part of his mantra in a way. But it doesn't need to start that way. I think it needs to be a flashback. It needs to be, but they do need to tie. I think the clever way to do it would be to tie it to a villain or something that goes further into the films versus just some random guy who's a thief who, Peter lets go and ends up being, Ben gets killed for it and things like that. So it'd be interesting to see. But I think they need to do it. But they don't need to draw it out like they did the other movies.
Yeah, we're already starting into his career.
He's already Spider-Man
with Civil War. So to go back would be kind of weird already. So we'll just continue on forward. Like I said, like Cody said, flashbacks would be the best thing to do.
And Aunt May was Marissa Tomei.
Yes,
right.
So they're younginizing everybody.
Is Marissa Tomei the same Marissa Tomei that was in Joe Pesci movie?
My Cousin Vinny.
Yeah. My Cousin Vinny. So can we have Joe Pesci play Uncle Ben?
Oh, that would be perfect.
He would be a little older because he was older than her in that too, but probably not. He's done doing movies. Joe Pesci's done doing movies.
You talking to me, Parker?
So interesting, but
with great power comes great responsibility, kid.
These utes swinging around on webs.
Yeah.
What's a ute?
Peter goes all wet bandits on him and just sets up a bunch of traps with his webs and stuff.
Because I was thinking, Sally Field was the Andrew Garfield Aunt May, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So how great would have been Burt Reynolds being Uncle Ben?
Creepy, always doing weird pickup lines on Sally Field.
On Mary Jane.
Exactly.
Or on everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
That Mary Jane's a hot looker. Gross.
You're a hot one there, Parker.
I don't like any of your guys' ideas.
Yeah. What if during the big climax, Vulture's like
don't
shouting out
climax.
Ben, and then Peter's all like, Ben, that's my uncle's name too.
I can't kill you now, Vulture.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just gonna lock you up and rip off your wings.
That'd be awesome.
This is Marvel, not DC. They actually have plans set in motion, not, hey, this works out, right?
Are we getting Vulturians?
We don't know how to end this.
Are we getting Vulturians? Or just one Vulture?
We have no idea.
Okay, because that'd be awesome. See,
We've yet to
Vulturians,
see
too.
pictures of anything but Tom in and out of the spider suit
Yeah.
hanging out. So, but I wouldn't doubt that we would see a teaser trailer in front of Rogue One.
Is he gonna be old man Adrian Toombs?
I hope so.
Well, he's pretty old in general, so
Yeah,
he could
they've
be.
had a couple things where he's had youth things done to him. And
Yeah.
where it's like, oh, fountain of youth thing type of deal.
Yeah. Well, and we got Shocker in this movie too.
Oh,
right?
Shocker's
Yeah.
gonna be in it
Shocker's
too.
been put in there
Did
too.
they
Yeah,
cast Shocker already?
yeah his outfit's awesome too.
Who's Shocker?
I can't remember his name. He's been in a few things. I can't think of his name right now.
I think I did hear that rumor because I know
Yeah,
it's like
they
that
show
people,
they.
Spider-Man
We've
46
seen
for Shocker.
pictures of him in most of his costume, and he
Yeah.
has the netting on
That's
his wrist,
cool.
and he
Is it
actually has the
yellow-brown
gloves.
still?
Yeah,
That's
it's like
awesome.
it's a muted color, so it's not as bright as it was in the books, but it's definitely you can see that it's
Still yellow?
it's the way Marvel's doing it. Yeah, like the
That's
way Marvel
cool.
always does
That's awesome.
their costumes, where it has remnants of the
comic
of the
versions.
comic versions, and then they make, I'm sure they make reference to it, but I think he's more of like the intro bad guy,
Oh, I
and
see.
then Vulture's gonna be the main
Like what
baddie.
Rhino was inside
Yep.
the Andrew Garfield movie. type
Unfortunately,
thing.
yes.
Yeah.
Oakeen Woodbine?
That's the one.
Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
That's who they.
Huh.
I'm seeing if there's a picture of him. Like, sure there is.
I mean, you see his
somewhere.
actual face, you'll recognize him.
Yeah.
He's been in a lot of things.
Yeah.
Wasn't he in like Boys in the Hood or something?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, it was.
Quite the callback there.
Man, dude.
It's that's what Matt does.
Is Cuba Gooding Jr. going to be in it too then?
God no. They'll need him having sex with Helen Mirren.
Or
Whoa,
do you?
what?
Shadowboxer. You ever see
No,
Shadowboxer?
never saw that.
Don't watch it
Yeah, that's
unless you
horrible.
like watching.
Unless we're talking Helen Mirren 40 years ago.
No, this is like 2004.
Okay.
Okay, so that'd be him right there.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's him.
Yeah.
That's cool. That'd be cool, Shocker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, he's more of going to be a throwaway than anything else. He's going to be there for Spider-Man to fight, and then
Defeat
other things
really
happen.
quickly.
Yeah,
So
he's going to be
just
the
like
intro.
Rhino.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 That's pretty rough.
And then obviously they can bring him back because he doesn't have to die or anything, but his outfit can be upgraded by some villain or something.
Vulture by himself.
So that's the thing is though.
For a full 2.5 hour
But-
movies of being the main bad guy, what are they going to do with this guy?
But that's the thing is you're putting the limitations you would know from the comics, but we
They don't
have.
use those limitations in the movies.
They don't have to.
Yeah.
They can do whatever they want. They can make him Whiplash when he's a main villain against Iron
I
Man.
see.
He was a goddamn pawn every
Yeah.
time in the comic books. No matter time, anytime you ever saw Whiplash, he was never anything to Iron Man other than just a stepping stone.
So you make him scary, psycho killer.
Yeah,
type
easily.
Of like, oh, this guy's really
Kidnapping kids to well, they can do the ultimate version too, where he kidnapped kids for their
That
youth.
would be sick. Good gosh, dude.
Yeah. So I mean, they're already stealing so much from the Ultimate Universe, anyways,
Yeah,
for
so it makes
the
sense
Marvel
anymore.
MCU. So, so that's the big news on that one. Big news. See, let's jump across the pond to Harry Potter.
Okay.
So, when this goes out a week later, the newest Harry Potter movie will be out. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and it has been officially confirmed who is going to be showing up in the sequel that they've already have planned.
Really?
So Johnny Depp has been
What?
cast as a main character.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
He has been officially announced as Grindelwald, I think is how you say it. He is the second most powerful dark wizard in the Harry Potter
He's
universe.
play a villain.
So he's playing a villain. He's playing a really big villain. And because of him, Dumbledore is going to be making a return in the next Fantastic Beasts movie. So
Nice. Johnny Depp makes him make a sick villain. He's always been more the hero.
he's
so
always
far,
been a hero,
but
yeah.
I could see him be a really good dark
Oh, yeah.
villain.
I mean, he's always been a dark hero for the most part for everything.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see how crazy he's gonna. But he actually has. They've actually filmed a cameo for Fantastic Beasts, so he's in it in some way. Most likely, it's gonna be a stinger scene. If you know what a stinger scene is, the part that comes up in the credits or after the credits.
Okay.
Yeah.
So most likely that's where he's gonna pop in. Original rumors was he was gonna be a picture. That you're gonna see him as this character, and that was it. But now it's been officially announced by by WB and everybody. He's actually in the movie with speaking lines and everything. So we'll see.
People are gonna freak out when they see him on screen. Wow,
Yep.
That's great. Those are things I kind of wish they would keep under wraps.
Well, they
as much
did.
as they could
They did
until
until they
the movie
announced
hits.
the sequel. So no one. I mean, this literally, for as big as Johnny Depp is a star, to be in a sequel, like the reason they put it out because the movie starts in theaters next Tuesday overseas, we don't get it till Friday.
Oh,
So it'll be
sick.
out and about, but they wanted to come out and officially say it before anything else. But within a week of release,
People
they kept
didn't
it
know.
that secret. So that's
Pretty good.
pretty crazy nowadays. So pretty fun that way. Fox is already planning to add X-Force to Deadpool 3. So they're already laying their dirty grubs on that movie.
Which X-Force? The
Well, I'm gonna guess.
vintage cable X-Force or
I'm
the
gonna
Wolverine
guess it's.
X-Force?
Technically it would have to be Wolverine's because Deadpool's never in Cable's original Deadpool X-Force.
That's true.
So it'd have to be the newer one. Hopefully Warpath is in it because that'll be hilarious.
Yes.
Well, if it's Wolverines, do you?
Well, you don't have to. You replace Wolverine with because Hugh Jackman's done after Logan.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
We
I
have
heard they
to-
were
Oh,
trying
would
to
that be the
cast,
first new Wolverine then, maybe?
Well, it could be X-23 since she's officially in Logan.
She's
That's
an
true.
X-Force too.
But the problem is, Logan is supposed to be in the future,
Yeah.
And the girl's young.
and she's young in that, so she might even be born in Deadpool's era. But Cable's time traveler, so guess
Right.
what?
But you can pick her up and bring her back.
Boom, she'd be with him. Who knows? But yes, if you haven't seen the trailer, have you seen the trailer for Logan yet?
Yes,
Super
looks
awesome.
good.
Yeah, it's super
I
rad.
didn't know it was like a Wolverine movie. I thought
That's
it was
the
a
best
Hugh
part.
Jackman movie until
Yeah.
I saw Patrick Stewart. That's Professor X. Dude, this is the Logan trailer. Oh my god!
Yep, it's fantastic. Did you see the Red Band trailer from Europe?
Oh,
I've not.
God.
That's-
With,
yeah,
with,
is that good?
with an actual on-screen violent death.
Oh yeah.
Really?
He pops his claws right through dude's chin, and they come out his head and it's not like a quick. It's on screen for a good half second, and it goes away.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is this the one that's rated R?
Yep.
That's coming up. Wow.
Yeah, so they're really going in all in. So,
So
it'll be
who's the
fun.
guy that's supposed to be leading the gang?
So that's Alpha.
That's Alpha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the villains for this movie are going to be the what's it called now? They're the ones that do the Order of the Phoenix.
The Order of the Phoenix.
The people who believe that Phoenix is a god's
Okay.
Hellfire Club.
Hellfire Club?
Yeah, Hellfire
Yeah.
Club. Yeah, I believe it's the Hellfire Club that's the main villain in this one.
That's interesting. So it's more
So-
about that because you can't really have the Hulk family.
You cannot
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Any
Yeah,
of that.
there's a lot you can't do because,
And
for
Red
people who
Skull
haven't known,
can't run the country.
Right.
Yeah.
can't, yeah,
We're not going to see him fly off in Tony Stark's armor.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah, we're not, he's not,
Decapitate
yeah,
anybody
We're not
with
going
the
to see Devil
shield.
Dinosaur
Yeah.
with the symbiote costume.
yeah, he's not, yeah. They're not. He's not going to team up with blind Hawkeye,
Yeah.
and then go steal
awesome.
Spider Girl's fucking
The
Jeep.
Spider-Mobile.
So
Yeah,
is it? So
Cam
is it,
Spider-Wheel.
is it Mutant Power Professor X where he can't read anybody's mind or something?
So
or?
he's older. So the early rumors are that Professor X has been in a coma
Oh, nice.
after an attack. So he was attacked. Was in a coma. The events happened where something killed all the mutants.
Hope it's Wolverine.
Hopefully, yes.
So
There's a-
freaking epic. Dude.
well, there's
Yeah.
there's
That's what that story made. That story.
Yeah,
Yes,
there's
exactly.
a scene in the Logan trailer where you see him at the funeral of somebody's, but then there's a flash to like him in the wreckage of a building behind him, and that's reminiscent of the Mark Miller book where he
Yes.
pulls himself out of the wreckage after
Good old Mysterio.
after the brothers of the Brotherhood come after him, and he kills all of them and ends up being
Yes.
him being mind controlled. So it'll be interesting, but I think the way it's working in this one, if I extrapolate what I know so far, is the Hellfire Club is
Well,
after
Mastermind was part of the Hellfire
X-23.
Club, which makes sense.
Yeah, I think they're after X-23. They're the ones that had Xavier. Xavier escaped with her,
Okay.
found Logan, told him that she's like him, and made him her guardian against the Hellfire Club.
Plus, what's the whole Mr. Sinister connection still? Because they had Nathaniel Essex had the X-23 at the end of the.
Yes, but the
the
thing is, I
Apocalypse or
don't know if
Apocalypse.
this ties directly into that because
Oh, okay.
this again is in the future where all the X-Men are dead.
That's right.
So
So it's kind of like it's a post-quill to what.
in a way, yeah, it's their way of using Mark Miller's book
Yeah.
without having all the DC or all the Marvel books to play with, all the characters.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, what do we have in ours? We haven't brought the Hellfire Club really,
Yeah.
so we can use them as the main villains. They somehow kill all the mutants that either they can control or can't be or isn't part of them. But Wolverine is their instrument, but he somehow resisted or got away. I don't know how it would be, and they're basically gonna do the same thing to X-23.
Okay.
My guess.
Because you could have, like, they obviously doesn't matter what they could have done, I guess, but like Mr. Sinister and the Marauders would have been an easy way to tie in a little bit of multiple X-Men storytelling over the years
Yeah.
with the whole Wolverine type of thing, taking out the X-Men. with I guess the Mastermind Hellfire Club type of thing makes a lot of sense too. But
yeah, because I mean with
Mr. Sinister was
with Mr.
responsible for the
Sinister, I know
Marauders.
I haven't seen Apocalypse, but I know at the end of Apocalypse in this thing you're saying you see Sinister, or they reference the Sinister or
it's
something?
Nathaniel Essex.
Oh, is that what it is?
It's
Oh,
like
it's Essex? Okay.
Yeah. Isn't it like a briefcase with like a name on there and
Yeah,
it just
so it's
says
like
Essex
Essex.
Corp?
Okay,
Yeah.
so
That's right, Essex Corp. That's right.
Yeah.
yeah, because and that's the thing too with so I can't remember where I read it. Someone brought it up, the fact that Marvel technically has the use of Sinister now.
Really? How's
Sinister, well, because Sinister, the whole deal with Marvel properties, if it has up until 2005, if no one's ever used that character, it's open game for anybody who has a Marvel license.
that? Wow.
So the only ones that they can't use are anybody who they've used already. So they can't use Wolverine over the Marvel U, but they have access to everybody else. So that's why Fox went through and started taking up
movies,
all
yeah.
these different people, because like we need to get these because our contract's up and they're gonna rewrite it.
Yeah.
So we need to get all these different characters in as much as we can. That's why when you go to Last Stand, it was just such an amalgamation of just all these random characters that had no reason to be in the movie.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to pull them in so they could use them.
Okay.
Same thing with Origins. They're like, hey, we plan to use Deadpool, so we're going to take that. Because
So
if they
does
didn't,
Marvel, why don't they just bring Dakin into their Avengers?
they can if they wanted to.
So I'd say, hey, you know what? We got a Wolverine. He's Dakin.
Yep. But then the whole thing is, how do you, if you have that, how do you explain Dakin without having to be able to use Wolverine? Because yes, he's Wolverine's son.
Yeah.
But how do you explain his existence without Wolverine?
You don't really have mutants in that
Exactly.
world.
You have miracles, and they were
Yeah,
created
that's
by
true,
the
I see.
Infinity Gems. So but Sinister, they can use.
Yeah.
Just like they have access to everything that they do. That's why they were able to have Quicksilver. But so did X-Men, because he wasn't involved. He wasn't in by 2005. So he's open
so
game.
Anything that was not in before 2005,
They have access to. It's accessible by anybody. So technically, Fox has all the X-Men stuff. They have all the Fantastic Four stuff. But the only thing they have access to is anything within those camps. Marvel has access to everything.
Wow.
So they can use anything that hasn't already been brought up in those ones. So Sony, which now is inside the Marvel umbrella, so they have all the Spider-Man stuff.
Deadpool into that Wolverine movie. Yep. No, he didn't look like Deadpool.
Exactly. They needed to call him Wade Wilson.
Yeah.
And they at one point they needed him to at least kind of be Deadpool, yeah. So they could retain the rights to it without Marvel being able to snatch it up.
Yeah.
But that's why the such a big deal to have Sony and Marvel have that joint use.
Does Marvel have access to Cable then, don't they?
No, because Cable's part of the X-Men tree.
Oh, okay.
They can't have that. But where Sinister's not. Sinister crosses everybody, so they have access to it.
But Sinister first appeared in an X-Men book.
He did, but he's not an X-Men franchise. He's fought against the Fantastic Four. He's fought against the Avengers.
Okay.
He's more known for fighting against the X-Men,
Yeah.
so it's less likely that Marvel would use him, but they could if they wanted to.
So can Marvel use the Sabretooth argument that he first appeared in Iron Fist before the X-Men?
No, because he's considered an X-Men.
Okay.
They could have a Sabretooth type thing, but at this point they don't need to.
Yeah.
They've proven the fact that they can use anybody. They can turn anything they want into a franchise. I mean, Thor, for Christ's sake. If you would have told me 10 years ago they were going to make a Thor movie, like, we got your mind.
Right.
Power Pack's going to be a movie probably the next 10 years.
Might as well. I mean, at this point, they're running out of stuff, so they're going to have to start branching out. That's why it's so nice to see the Doctor Strange doing so well.
And look out for those Eternals, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Let's see that be when that's just on the shelf being tapped.
Oh, can you imagine if they did a new Eternals? Externals? They would just, like, gaming in the MCU?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. That's the thing, too. After Inhumans is done, I see them moving on to Eternals.
Yeah.
Yep. Plus, I think they've kind of let the Inhuman things kind of go as of right now, because we've yet to hear any more about the movie. Mm-hmm. It even died out in the show because they didn't really talk about it. I mean, a little bit, because like the spoiler for anybody who's not watching Shield right now, the new director is an Inhuman.
Oh, really?
Technically, so
I didn't catch that. What was that?
They announced it in the second episode.
Oh man, I completely got to rewatch that then again.
So and obviously Daisy Quake is an Inhuman
too.
so. And they keep referencing that they're out there, so they're trying to keep it alive. But I think they're focusing on too many things right now, so I think that's good that they're going on that. Plus, I mean, really, we're already going away from that stuff because we have Captain Marvel coming out soon.
Yes.
So I mean, interesting to see how they do all that.
I hope they somehow connect in Marvel too as well, like Genis
They could.
Genisvel, right? The
Yeah.
one that was the original Captain Marvel.
Yeah. So I mean, with even like Nova, for example, James Gunn doesn't like the character Nova, so that's why he wasn't involved in Guardians, even though the Nova Corps was.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously he is the main guy of Nova Corps, so like he should have been, but he doesn't like that character, so he left him out. But he likes Wonder Man enough to make him part of Guardians too. So
Yeah.
I mean, whatever, you know.
Okay.
I'm not gonna question.
It's a good movie.
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
question James Gunn
Yeah.
anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Up until Guardians came out,
But the Wonder
I
Man
you know.
Simon Williams is going to be.
Oh, you didn't hear about that?
No.
Oh yeah. They actually have a they think it's a flashback from when Star-Lord was younger, and so it's the actor version of him.
Okay. Oh, that's
So
cool.
after he stopped being a hero,
Yeah.
he started being a stuntman
So
and then an
red coat-
actor. So
red coat,
yeah,
blue
so
jeans, or red coat,
and
khaki
it's
slacks?
it's
Wonder Man?
Nathan Fillion plays.
Really,
Yep.
Nathan Fillion's playing Wonder Man. That's
Yep.
pretty cool.
So will we see Wonder Man as Wonder Man? Don't know, but we will get Wonder Man as a somebody in there. So that's pretty cool. I
That's
think
pretty epic.
And we will get to see Ego the Living Planet, though, right?
Nice.
because that's technically Star-Lord's dad, played by Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell.
Okay.
I don't know how they're gonna explain it,
Wow.
but
You just think of a giant planet with that giant, like the beard mutton chops that he had from
Hateful Eight.
Hateful Eight. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
or that gnarly beard from Bone Tomahawk,
Yeah.
that wild hair.
Okay.
So
So too. Can't question the Guardians of the Galaxy yet. They were the biggest surprise.
Right.
Yeah.
I've never seen in theaters and going, "What Guardians of the Galaxy? Oh, it's gonna be the Shark Jumper." No, I don't know.
No, it
It's
was
like
amazing.
that.
It's
Yeah.
actually
Amazing.
probably my favorite Marvel Universe movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had Star Wars mixed in with superheroes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What
Just
everyone
a lot of
wants.
fun.
You had
Yeah.
me at space. That pretty much was it.
it's true. It's true. I'm trying to see if there's any other real big news to talk about other than those.
Didn't see much of.
They're remaking American Werewolf in London.
Oh,
Nice.
really?
Yeah,
Max
with
Landis, too.
yeah.
Max Landis doing it?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So Max
He
Landis
wrote the
is
script for it?
he's writing the script and he may direct it as of right now
Wow, that's cool.
because he just wrapped up season 1 of Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency, the show on
Yeah.
BBC.
Wow, dude.
Because he
He's
brought
writing
that.
Full Killer right now too,
Yes.
which is interesting too.
Yep.
Of going, that first issue was pretty enjoyable. I didn't think I'd like it. And I go, this is really good.
Yeah, Max Landis is good. So he got his start steeped in the world of comics because he wrote Chronicle, the movie.
Okay, yeah.
So that's where he basically blew up.
Yeah.
And then he was hired at one point to write a Superman script.
Yes.
And that fell through just like every Superman script does until they finally land on something they want. Fighting giant spiders and all. And then, but he's done so many different things. It's ridiculous. But his big thing is he was a showrunner and he wrote the entire thing for Dirk Gently's show.
Wow.
That's currently running, which you haven't seen. It's fantastic, by the way. And then obviously he did the Superman book, American Alien.
Yeah.
And then he's done a bunch of stuff, but obviously Fool Killer is what he's on right now.
Yeah.
But so he's writing that, and rumors are he's going to direct it too, which will be his first directorial debut.
Wow.
So that'll be pretty fun. Plus he's a really awesome writer, so
Yeah.
kind of exciting about that.
I was impressed. I had no idea he was that awesome. But Superman American Alien was good in itself, but making
Yeah.
Fool Killer enjoyable. I mean, Fool Killer has always been knockoff Punisher,
Yeah.
but it's the same company. But at the same time, it's going like that. Okay, well, we can do this character. Well, let's give him to a guy that knows how to write and make him cool again. I mean, I was mildly impressed. I fortunately was not that impressed with Solo, but
Yeah, I didn't end up buying that just because I looked at it and I was like, I don't know if I really care about this enough.
yeah,
I think it's nice that Marvel and DC are trying to do,
things with old characters, bring
but
fresh.
I don't know if those are the ones you need to bring back
I know,
for their
dude.
own books.
Yeah.
I mean, what is it? Solo, the one-man war against what's his tagline? The one-man
War against
a
terrorism.
one-man army against terrorism, right? Yeah. He's basically like a Punisher that only goes after terrorists, I guess. I don't know. It was weird. I don't know why they did that thing.
Weird.
It's Assassination Nation plot. He was pretty cool back in 1989. But
Yeah, well, a lot of things were
but
cool
that
back in
was Todd
1989.
McFarlane drawing it too.
Yeah. It's also really into MC Hammer back then.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. Silver Sable was still cool back then too.
Yeah, right.
Was Silver Sable ever cool though?
I don't know. She's a pretty badass spy.
Yeah, exactly.
Before there's Tomb Raider, there's Silver Sable.
Yeah.
Right?
Always had the Silver Sable like backup issues in like the Marvel Presents or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Backup issues. That's the key word.
She was female James Bond, but didn't she run her own country too? Wasn't she kind of like wasn't she president of some third world country?
You might be right.
Dude,
Yeah.
where she was super, I don't know, third world, like super rich country.
Yeah.
And she more or less was, not only am I the ruler of this country, I'm also a representative of their secret service. Right? I will destroy you.
I don't know if that's the best voice for Silver Sable.
That's true.
But
It's close enough.
Ken,
I'll
whatever, man.
destroy you.
Yeah, yes.
1950s, you know.
yeah.
Silver
So
Sable.
50 Silver Sable.
Yeah. My eyes are up here, buddy.
Yes. Hey,
Yeah.
guys. What are you looking at? My silver locks? Oh, my wonderful bosom.
Plentiful bosom.
Plentiful. Yeah.
Plentiful bosom.
Ample.
Bosom.
Ample.
Ample.
Ample. Mission Impossible 6, release date for summer of 2018.
God, when's Tom Cruise going to go to prison?
Why? He's a higher being.
He's a higher me.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Man, dude.
He's gotten cleared, yo.
Yeah. He's completely clear of body thetans.
He's like the Dick Clark of this generation. The guy never ages.
He's a vampire.
Right?
That's right. He was a vampire. Interview with a
Yeah.
vampire.
feed on the young.
Yeah.
God, dude.
He got a little bit too much into the actor experience.
Yep.
He's like, I really
He's very
need to-
method
yeah,
sometimes.
yeah.
And he
Exactly.
apparently
Need to find out what it's like to be a vampire. So he
taking
became
the
one.
souls of virgins will
Yep.
make you live forever.
Surprised Katie Holmes was able to escape. I mean, most familiars never get away from their master, right?
I don't think she was completely turned. That's the
Okay.
thing. Yeah. So
So that's why she was able to get away.
He's
yeah.
like the guy that just won't go away, Tom Cruise.
I mean, he doesn't
Yeah.
have to.
I don't know. Kind of.
He's not crazy enough.
You get tired of seeing him do the same thing over and over and over again in a movie. Keanu Reeves got burnt out. People got burnt out at Keanu Reeves. How can they get burnt out on Tom Cruise?
Because Tom Cruise is one of the biggest stars in all the world.
Yeah, he probably does really well overseas.
Oh, I see. He's like the David Hasselhoff of Hollywood, more or less.
No, because he hasn't sold out and got drunk and eating hamburgers off the floor.
You know, I haven't picked up his album either, so.
Yeah, that's true.
Did you pick up Hasselhoff's album?
Yeah, I did. Actually, I did.
You're one
Tom
of the six
Cruise has
people
got
in
a
the United
music
States.
album
Yeah.
too now? Tom Cruise wants
No.
to going, oh my god, what I missed there? I'm going, geez, dude, keep him out of
Yeah.
the limelight.
Yeah.
Just David Hasselhoff.
Hey, if we can keep making Fast and Furious movies, Tom Cruise can make whatever he wants.
Yeah.
This actually is true. Yeah.
Because I've yet to get sick of those.
Yeah, I mean,
Fast and
Mission
Furious
Impossibles
movies?
are entertaining. Tom Cruise is not that bad. It's just, I don't see any range in his acting anymore. And
No,
I'd like
I-
to see more range in his acting.
He's never had range in his acting.
And
other
I-
than,
I get
Few
what you're
Good Men
saying,
was
'cause
awesome. That was
I've-
totally different from normal
I've had
Tom
this.
Cruise.
I've had this. It's not really a complaint, but this argument about Tom Cruise. Like, he's a good actor, but he plays Tom Cruise in every
Yeah.
single movie that he is. He's not.
Yeah.
He's like the Jack
hugely
Nicholson.
method actor.
Yes.
It's like
So-
good-looking men.
Yeah. So you tell me like, oh, this is a movie starring Tom Cruise. That's not a draw for me.
Yeah.
But Jack Reacher was a phenomenal movie.
Yeah.
the first one.
But yeah, the first one. But it wasn't because it wasn't a draw for me because of Tom Cruise. It's just because it looked like a good story and action and whatnot. Oblivion looked like a cool sci-fi movie that happened to star Tom Cruise to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you tell me that he's doing like another was it Steel Magnolias or whatever it was, or what was that?
Vanilla Sky?
Vanilla Sky. There
Yeah.
we go. I don't know where I got Steel Magnolias from.
You really want him to be in Steel
Still
Magnolias,
thinking about
apparently.
Sally Field or whatever? Or?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm stuck on Sally Field, just like Burt Reynolds was.
But I'm like, it's not a draw for me. It's not like something like, oh my god, it's another Tom Cruise movie. Like Mission Impossible, they're okay. I'll go see them. They're fun to
Yeah.
watch, but it's not like, oh my god, Tom Cruise is such an amazing actor. I'm gonna go watch every movie that he makes. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
Because
agreed.
he's one of those few actors like I really enjoyed, and
No.
then I grew out of him, which is strange.
No.
Usually I don't grow out of actors I used to think
Yeah.
were awesome, but for whatever reason, like Tom Cruise will be like, man, dude, it's like that. I feel like I've seen this movie, as you said, 26 times. Like Jack Nicholson's an amazing actor, but he always acts as Jack Nicholson. That wasn't the Joker. That was Jack Nicholson in Face Paint and Batman
Right.
back in 1989.
Right.
And Heath Ledger, that guy had range. That was
Oh, yeah.
Heath Ledger playing the Joker, not Heath Ledger playing Heath Ledger, Brokeback Joker, what everybody was joking about before the movie. No
Yeah.
pun intended on the everybody joking
No,
about,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
he was different characters in each movie he acted in.
Yeah.
Same with Ed Norton in a way too. Is Ed Norton's great at doing multiple characters. In fact, he does multiple characters in the same movie.
Yeah, that's
which
true.
is crazy.
That's why one of my favorite actors of all time has been Gary Oldman. I mean, you look
Yeah,
back
dude.
at his career, you're like,
Amazing acting
Yeah.
range.
Oh man, have you seen the picture of him in makeup as Winston Churchill?
Really?
No, I haven't
Unrecognizable.
Wow.
Yeah.
Looks great.
I can't wait to see that.
'Cause he's
then,
fat.
dude. Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, and that's another thing too. He could go back and forth with his body.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's,
Tomorrow.
it's like that thing is like you see like you in the same era, you see him as Leon the Professional, and you see him in Fifth Element, and it's a
Yeah.
hard argument to say that's the same guy.
Yeah.
exactly.
Right.
It's like if I remember growing up and watching those and like not realizing that was the same Gary Oldman.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he
same
gets
here.
he gets into roles.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
he takes on the role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. So I mean that is definitely a man. What I'm going to say about the Tom Cruise is, to your point, is I hear Tom Cruise in the movie. I don't think Oscar winner. I think it's going to be a good time.
That's true. Yeah.
Now I will go see a Tom Cruise
It's
movie.
like Vin Diesel.
every
You're
time.
not expected any kind of
Exactly.
acting performance.
The problem with
That's
Vin Diesel
freaking
is if it has the name Fast in it, I'm not going to go see it
Yeah.
because I can't stand those movies.
Well, Triple X
Right.
looks freaking amazing.
No, it does not.
But just like if you want like eye candy, do you mean
Not
it's
even
like
that. Like he looks like a 50-year-old trying to do action. Like he doesn't need
Okay.
to. Like,
How many times did we get invited to the...
oh my god, so many times there were preview screening of that fucking
Preview
movie.
screening.
yeah.
that movie,
Wow.
The Return of Xander Cage or Gage or Gade. I don't know what his fucking name
the
is.
first day that they sent out the preview screening
like
sign-ups,
4.
yeah, we like me, Cody, Mike, we all got like 4 emails saying,
Hey, come see this movie.
come see this movie. And then like 2 days later, you get another like 2 or 3 emails. Hey, come on, see this movie already.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I realized I was like I keep trying to get into it because I was like all right maybe I want to see it and then I was like I don't want to.
You're like, it's a free movie.
Yeah, I was like, oh, it's a free movie. And then I rewatched the trailer and I was like,
Just
nope,
doesn't.
not
Okay.
gonna do it. It's gonna be it's a little too much Fast and Furious to me, but not enough of what I mean. I don't know if I can't really pick if Vin Diesel movie that like if it's. I will go see a Riddick movie every time they put one out
Yeah.
Yes.
because they're good times. But
Triple X not.
Triple X,
I didn't see
yeah.
the original one, so I don't know.
oh yeah,
And
no,
it just looked like, oh, good God, this is like freaking adrenaline.
They try. It's just
24/7 in
that
that trailer.
he's like this invulnerable ladies'
like
man.
Yeah, like an
and,
American
like,
James Bond. If you think of America as like, you know, everything
Monster
big
trucks.
streams and
Oh,
monster
yeah.
trucks and
So it's NASCAR James Bond.
extreme, yeah,
NASCAR
games
James
and
Bond.
whatnot. Yeah,
yeah, it's rough.
yeah.
for sure.
Wow.
What's NASCAR James Bond? All the women he seduces are related to him? I mean,
I don't know.
That
'Cause, like,
movie just
NASCAR's
keeps
like
going
that,
left.
yeah.
Just keeps going left.
Not
gonna
to
get
say they're
you.
all NASCAR either. So it's like this NASCAR people get
Yeah.
like super excited about, you know, parking the motorhomes in the middle of the track type of stuff. And I'm going, dude, where else can you do that? Can I like bring my motorhome into a football stadium
Yeah.
and
Right.
celebrate? I know there's tailgating, but you can't get inside
Put it on the 50-yard
of the
line.
yeah,
Yeah.
inside of the
See-
gameplay. Like
See,
you
but
do
the
in NASCAR.
difference though with that is, football games are once a day,
What's a week?
like once a week,
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah. This is like
NASCAR
3-4
takes a week for the whole thing, so like that's why you use a camper and you come out and you sit in the middle of
Yeah,
the
you
raceway
have to-
because you're gonna be there for an entire week.
So it's like NASCAR's like
Yeah.
Woodstock of sports.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
come out and be like, are they still going left? Yep. Okay.
What lap are they on? 500. Oh, it's almost over.
Yeah. And dude, just like the amount of sponsorships. That's like the best, I guess, how would you say, marketed sport I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
We're getting
It's also,
sponsorships.
it's also
on.
what ruined marketing in this country.
Uh,
Let's put a name on everything.
yeah. Yeah, NBA's doing it for the first time this year. Did you see that?
Uh,
I think aren't they doing like sponsorships on
supposed
the
to be.
NBA jerseys this year? Or was it just the preseason?
Probably because they pay those overpriced
Because I know that
people.
WNBA's been doing it for a few years.
Well, you gotta do something
Well,
to keep
yeah,
the
they-
lights on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ticket sales aren't doing it.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I remember. I can't remember who. Like, it was someone on ESPN. Like, someone
American
took
football
pictures
does,
from
too.
ESPN's broadcast of the world of like the championship for the WNBA, and they showed like what the stands look at a WNBA championship and what it looks like at an NBA championship. And the NBA was just jammed with people. And there's rows of chairs and people in the aisles. And the WNBA is like 5 rows up. It's empty.
Wow.
You're just like, yikes.
Man, dude. That's pretty rough.
Yikes. Yeah. It's good times. Good times. There was one other thing I saw. Now I put my phone away. Well, Doctor Strange did really good numbers.
Shocker.
Yeah.
How's it in comparison to other Marvel movies?
Not it. I think they said it did better than like Thor 2. It did better than a couple other ones. Like it did better than Ant-Man. But Ant-Man was one of those ones where, like, no one believed in it, and then once it was so good, people then went and saw it.
Yeah.
So Doctor Strange had a bigger draw because more people were interested to see Benedict as a main character in something.
Yeah.
That wasn't some weird, British movie like The Imitation Game and things like that. But I think the marketing, maybe it's just me, but I think the marketing was a lot heavier for Doctor Strange than it was for Ant-Man.
It definitely had its own like quirks too for the
Yeah.
marketing. I remember like scrolling through Instagram and seeing this weird like almost 3D type ad.
Yep.
As you went through for Doctor Strange, it was super weird.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I couldn't think of any other Marvel movie.
Yeah, they went pretty. They went pretty hefty. I think it's because Doctor Strange. Not that Ant-Man's a well-known property by any stretch of imagination, but he's very Iron Man-ish.
Yeah.
So they have that already. Hey, people are gonna want this. Doctor Strange, the name alone
is weird.
Is weird, and so people were like, we probably need to get this out more.
Mm-hmm. Show
and
like what it is.
and show what it is and what it can be, because we don't want people thinking it's just another Marvel movie when it's really not.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the haters are gonna say it's it's just like the origin story of Iron Man, and it's like yes and no, but I mean every origin story essentially is the same. Someone goes from one thing to something bigger and better. You know what I mean? It's just that's how it works. If they didn't, then it would be boring.
Yeah, just no growth to the character.
But I mean the and again, not saying too much. I don't care about people listening. Just at this point, you had a week to watch it. But the friends in the room haven't seen it yet. They did such a good job of making his origin that much different, because they could have easily made it go towards a Captain America origin or like that, but like you didn't have to, which is really cool. He has his own everything. He has elements from everything else. He does have elements of Iron Man in there. He has elements of Captain America being the underdog and all that fun stuff. But for the most part, it's very, very different from anything we've seen, but also familiar enough where you're not lost. But also, they keep it very low level, so you don't have to like break your brain trying to figure out what the hell's going on in the movie.
Yeah.
Because as you said earlier, Doctor Strange has always had that disconnection from the rest of the Marvel universe, where it's not some guy in an outfit kicking ass and taking names.
He's dealing with things that most people don't understand.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And it's on a different reality. Like most comic books growing up, I was talking with Cody, more of us put context in what we're talking about here. It's like we talked about Doctor Strange. You like it? Yeah, I loved it because I've never really been interested in Doctor Strange. When I was in my diving into the pool of the world of comics as a kid, because there was no interaction between him and other superheroes that you recognized.
You didn't see him team up between Iron with Spider-Man and Doctor Strange.
He's hanging out with his castle, kind of doing little like, oh, let's make some soup. That gets me into another dimension.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Or talking to people on the astral plane. It's like I don't get to hang out in the astral plane very often, much less Spider-Man's not there very often either.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna go.
I didn't really read a Doctor Strange story until Spider-Man had Aunt May get shot.
Yep.
And that was really freaking cool because you got to see what Doctor Strange could do for other superheroes, but it's not something they really did all the time until they occasionally have him appear in the Avengers. Or
exactly, yeah.
He's just
or they
not
do
connected enough.
Yeah, they tried to do it to get a little comic book nerdy with everybody. They tried to do it along with the Illuminati storyline.
That's true because he was the master of the magic inside the Illuminati.
So he's the one that built that. Built that
too.
Yeah. But for anybody who wants to learn
Secret
more,
Wars, he was really freaking awesome too because I didn't know like what the heck Doctor Strange was he feared for. Oh, he had to wipe everybody's mind to know that they're not from that Earth; they're from Doctor Doom's Earth now.
Yep, exactly.
And, that wasn't Molecule Man or Doctor Doom; that was Doctor Strange.
Yep. Oh, exactly.
That convinced everybody that world was perfectly normal.
Exactly. Yeah. But for anybody who wants to, if you have seen it or want to know something more,
I said Molecule Man, not Iron Man, right?
You did say Molecule Man, yeah.
Cool. Let's make sure. I'm thinking Iron Man in the back of my head for a second there.
No,
because Doctor Doom is Iron Man right now. Spoiler alert.
Sort of, yeah.
Or what he thinks he's Iron Man.
He's
thinks he's Superman.
Exactly, yeah. Which is weird to see the fact that like that's mirroring in both DC and Marvel.
Isn't that strange? I think they're really trying hard. Like, hey, we got your Coke or we got your Pepsi.
Yeah.
With each other, both colas. They're both comics, but we're gonna make sure that you like our character the same way you like that.
Well,
character.
I mean, when they did Secret Wars 2, it was the same thing as they did with Convergence or whatever that awful one that DC did at the same time.
Millennium or whatever. Was it Crisis of Millennium or something like that?
No, not the multiverse one. The one where they had all the different planets crashing into each other.
Oh yeah, Convergence. Oh
Convergence,
yeah,
right?
Convergence.
It's the exact same thing as Secret Wars.
Just like recent. I thought you were talking about way back like 1986.
No, I'm talking like just recently.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, Convergence was kind of like Secret Wars beating Secret Wars to the punch over at DC.
The difference is Secret Wars actually finished what they were going to do and actually eliminated people and changed the world. Yeah. Convergence is like, oh no, we're kidding. Everything's exactly the same except for.
Well, by the way, we got Superman back for you.
Superman's alive again. So,
and Blue Beetle, Ted Cord, look at this. Where'd he come from?
They're never going to give up on Blue Beetle.
Hey, let's make Dr. Manhattan pull out 10 years of time.
Oh,
and we'll call it a rebirth. What? Time out. Rebirth.
They didn't even define the word rebirth. By the way,
I know
that is like that's not even close to what rebirth is.
I think just because Jeff Johns wrote it, they wanted to call it rebirth. I guess Flash Rebirth and Green Lantern Rebirth.
They're like, hey, what can we call
Rebirth,
this?
And I could go home and make movies now.
Yeah,
I left you guys. I left your whole freaking universe Rebirth. Let's just go play some movie games now and make this catch up to Marvel movies now.
No, they're not even doing that very well. They're trying.
Wonder Woman does look pretty good.
Wonder Woman looks dope. That new trailer was. I was like, I wanted to send my money somewhere to get a ticket.
I feel Zack Snyder every time I look at it. It looks freaking epic.
Yeah, I think
it's not Zack Snyder, obviously. But
it's not. No, the thing
feels like
about
a Zack Snyder type of feel to a movie.
DC though,
yeah, which is awesome.
Like, I'm kind of glad they're all trying to do Zack Snyder feel. Suicide Squad had a little bit of it, but not a lot. Like it was shot differently because obviously there was no real. There was slow mo in Suicide Squad, but not used the same way. You know, not that show the impact of action and stuff.
Suicide Squad felt very Dirty Dozen to me type of thing.
That was the idea, yeah. It was that's what they wanted. But the thing with Marvel is every time you go to another character or another, it's different. It feels different.
I know, it's amazing. Go ahead.
So that's what I like about it. With DC, also I kind of like the idea of them all making that more gritty, realistic-ish.
It's
obviously,
the same
flying alien.
world every single time.
Yeah, it feels like the same world. Where if I watch Iron Man, it feels different than Captain America, way different than Thor. But Thor feels different than Guardians.
It gives identity more to each character.
Yeah, exactly. Where DC,
like Daredevil's in the Marvel universe, or the movie universe, but you don't have to see any of the movies to appreciate Daredevil.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't need Iron Man to make him relevant at all.
You don't even know, you never seen them together in any of the movies, but you know they exist together.
Exactly, yeah. So I mean, with DC, I like the idea they're trying to do something different, but I also don't like the fact they're not doing enough different in a way. And I say that we've only seen technically 2 movies in that little franchise, and the only thinking about Suicide Squad, the only thing that really felt Zack Snyder was the Batman scenes.
Yeah.
Little known fact, he worked on those scenes. So that's why they feel Zack Snyder in a way. But I think that's why I like Suicide Squad so much as I did, is because it was so different than what we were seeing before. And it's not like I disliked everything that I saw. I loved Man of Steel. I loved parts of Batman v Superman, not all of it, and there's a lot of it I didn't like.
And Suicide Squad.
But Suicide Squad was so enjoyable because it was different.
Yes.
But I like the fact that people will say forced it into it. No, they didn't force it into it. They said, hey, remember how much that you love Batman, you love this? This is the other side of the coin, as they say. But then you get glimpses of the heads side of that coin. Like, this is Batman, this is not Batman.
Yeah.
You know, and it's so much different. So I liked it. And then with Wonder Woman, I think you need it to look like Man of Steel. I think you need it to look like Batman v Superman, because she is part of that world directly, where Suicide Squad is the disgusting and grossness of it. She needs to be the bright half.
Yeah, it's like the Hell's Kitchen.
Exactly, yeah.
Like that. You know, if you have all of a sudden Tony Stark show up in Hell's Kitchen, it's going to be his environment, not him hanging around Malibu Beach by his mansion that dropped into the ocean type of thing.
That's why he's in New York now.
Yeah, dude, he's
can't drop this building in the ocean.
No earthquakes here.
I mean, kind of. They did shoot a giant beam from the top of it. So I mean, the Wonder Woman looks phenomenal. I like the fact that they're going to Themyscira in it too. Like, you see the warrior, the Amazon warriors actually fighting man on their island, and a little bit of spoiler. Apparently, someone gets hit with a bullet.
Right.
Because in that trailer, you see the bullet fly past both Diana and Captain Kirk. Captain Kirk. Steve Trevor. Yeah. And then it's flying at somebody, and she has that look of like, oh no, on her face. But I don't know if it was her
Oh,
mom, because
yeah,
later
it
on
looked
you
like-
see her saying that we need to rage war on them, so I'm not too sure how that goes. But, again, it's trailer magic, so it could be
Yeah.
completely... I mean, that could be the end of the movie for all we know.
It sounds like Flashpoint
You know?
type of stuff where the Atlanteans took out the queen. That's not, obviously.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's be interesting, but I do like the fact that it looks... They didn't try to bring it modern. They let her stay back in World War II or World
Okay.
War One. What was it? World War One. One, right? Yeah. Oh, well, war to end all wars. Yeah, World War One.
Until the
Makes
second
sense.
one came out.
Yeah. We didn't think there was gonna be a second one. This was just called World War, and then the second one came like, well, World War One. So I like that, like the fact, and like I love that scene where she says, where she I can't remember what she says, but like, showing Amazon does it, and she walks up the ladder, and like he's like, Diana, and like she's just stomping through burnt ground, and like they're firing bullets, and she's just like pink, like just she can see him coming all slow, and she just reacts and just does this, and yeah, the action looks amazing in it. I was so happy with what I saw.
It's like
So
World War One, the world that end all wars. Now, how did they say like, okay, let's call this one World War Two?
well, because it was the second time all of the war, all of the world
just
went
kind of
to.
thinking like that. It seems like such a big marketing scheme.
Well, back
it's like,
then,
sweet, now back for the third time.
Ken wants World
It's
War
like that
II
we had the-
war harder.
like,
Exactly, dude.
Like you
World
back-
War Three.
Well, back
this time
then-
Hitler's dug up. It seems like World War One too as
World War
well.
III with a vengeance.
Yeah, like the problem with that is like back then they didn't have really good marketing. So like, what do we call this? World War II?
World War Two. What about World War again?
You can't really do World War
Like, what
again
about another World War?
because you needed to be a sequel
World War Rebirth.
Yeah.
or World War Returns. No,
World War
it doesn't
Returns.
matter.
All new, all different World War.
World War
With Marvel
End.
writing it.
World War End.
World War
Ends,
End.
yeah.
International War Part Dos.
All right. Well, I guess that brings us to the end of our episode. So, comes naturally. We are
Joe?
I am Cody, and again joining us was
It's Ken.
and
Matt.
all right, guys. Thanks for listening, and as usual, you fuckers just came naturally.